Hello, beautiful community, and welcome to our live broadcast, Heart to Heart Live. And today I am with Karine and Céline, who are part of the team, and we are super pleased to speak to you about lifestyle and the transitions that are required to shift our lifestyle in order to create space to follow our calling. And it's a beautiful topic that is very real and down to earth, because it's great to have dreams and visions and calling, but without tangible actions in our real life and changing our playground, nothing really happens, and it creates a lot of friction. So we will all share about the shifts that have happened in our lives since we started this path, and we will see where the conversation leads us. So hello, girls. Hello, women.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice to have you here.
It's good to be here. Yeah, it is.
Again, I'll give you the mic and let you start with this.
Yeah, well, how do we start? Lifestyle changes is such a big topic, and as you said, it's good to have dreams and vision, but then you have to take action into reality. I don't know, Céline, did you want to maybe start with how did it go for you? Like, what lifestyle did you change in the past few years to be more authentic in your life and feel that you're journeying towards serving better or serving your calling at least?
I think the biggest change that I realized was that I started asking more questions, just to myself and to others, instead of assuming or having an opinion or a judgment or whatever it is. I asked questions, and it opened up the space for receiving, for listening, for other opinions. And I find it changed so much my relationships with people, and just removing also this part of me that wanted to save all the time, that felt like I need to save. But when I ask questions and we talk about things openly and everyone has the space to be heard and seen, I was like, oh, I didn't have to save someone, and we're all talking about things, and it's just a very heartwarming.
And it's interesting because I didn't expect that at all. and it seems so simple, but yet I relate to that so much that sometimes it's hard just to be in that position of asking, receiving, just changing the perspective. So and do you see, like, in your reality, how, like, what were other changes that were brought by that change of perspective or way of doing?
It diffuses things sometimes, right? If someone is reactive or has a strong opinion about something, and instead of wanting to save them or coming with my judgments, they can calm down and think about the question, and it opens them up too. So I feel it just really helps everyone have the space to be seen and to be heard.
Cool. It's interesting. It's so interesting. Do you also relate to that, Jennifer?
Yes, the keyword in all of this, it's space. It's really space. Like, shifts towards freedom, or lifestyle shifts towards freedom, comes, the first ingredient that I encountered was space. And I used to find space in my old lifestyles. I used to find space with many different ways. It could be with traveling, it could be with taking substances, it could be with, weekend gatherings with friends, and all of this is also good. It has its purpose when it serves, but the keyword is space. When I discovered that there was space within that was creating more freedom and more aligned freedom outside, my lifestyle totally shifted, and it was a huge shift in my life. Huge. Like, I will always remember when I realized that the corporate life was not for me anymore. It was shocking. It was really shocking. I will always remember this moment when I was on the beach. I was traveling a lot. All my 20s, I was traveling, and I was in Brazil on that beach where the frequency was like super elevated. It was the first time I was in such an elevated frequency, and it showed me the gap. It showed me the gap between the lifestyle I was living and the new lifestyle that was possible to me. And in that thought process, and like shifting frequency gave me new thoughts, and it made me see clearly that, you know, I didn't need to be working in a corporate environment for my whole life. I didn't need to be, you know, the married woman with children. I didn't need to follow family grids to be loved or to be, you know, like it became so clear. I had a download in that moment, and then I could never go back afterwards. And where I was going with this is that when I came back, it came from a sincere calling. And the second key word is sincerity when you're about to change lifestyle. It's the space required to find the sincerity of your next layer of authenticity and follow through. Because once you have felt the answer inside, the old lifestyle is going to start losing taste. And this is what happened for me in that shift. So I literally phoned all my friends in that transition going back to Montreal. I swear this is what happened. I phoned them all. I was like, listen, something's going to happen to me and you're not going to recognize me. And I didn't. I just didn't know what was going to happen. I just felt I was feeling such a shift. It's even touching me right now to tap back into those moments because it was so challenging. Like I used to be the outgoing extrovert party girl, you know, underground world, corporate life, successful, international. Like it was a lifestyle, right? It was really a lifestyle. And when I hit that wall that came with that new sincerity, a new layer of authenticity, and some veils were lifted off, I was super scared because I was telling myself, I'm going to lose my family. I'm going to lose my friends. I'm going to lose my husband. You know, I could see that I was becoming some kind of monk lifestyle, right? I only wanted to stay in my house, and so many phenomenons happened in my life that were transforming me. And I'm not going to go into this right now, but this is just to explain that in big transitions in life, when we have more space and when we have a new sincere calling, it's normal that our body starts shaking. It's normal that we have those fears. It comes with that transition. But we have shared this already. The price to pay in staying in the old lifestyle or in staying in the fear is so much bigger than leaping in faith and jumping into this unknown, because something will carry you. Because the sincere calling is the prayer, and the prayer is what will start creating and manifesting the new lifestyle, the new playground. And I had to shift. So that was a huge transition, and it created, a whole new lifestyle. And it keeps on going. That was 11 years ago or 12 years ago. And every big transitions, every new layer of authenticity asks me to do this. To be like, okay, I feel like I don't have a parachute here, but I know there's something that will welcome me. And this is why this transformation system exists. It's because over and over we have experienced that when there's a new layer of authenticity that comes, there's also a new playground that's coming, but it requires our deep yes, and it requires that leap of faith of like, I'm feeling it. I know something's going to be carrying me. I just need to say yes and jump. It's that jump. And in that jump, a new layer of safety is going to appear. And that goes with the embodiment of it and our pelvis, our wombs, and all the sacred codes around this. And then this also starts creating, and we start embodying that next layer of authenticity. But that gap is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for all of us. And you can share, Karine, right away, on your story also of, you know, how you transitioned from more corporate life to, you know, having part-time job. And we can all share about this because we all come from corporate jobs, right?
Yeah, and it's interesting because when you were talking, the moment for me comes before changing corporate job, it really came from my divorce. And when you were talking about needing space, I remember that moment where I just felt in my body that I couldn't take it anymore, that this lifestyle that I had in my marriage didn't suit me at all. And I remember being in my bed and just crying because I was like, oh my God, like, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna find space? And I was resisting so much that leap, because I was like, oh my God, if I divorce, I'm gonna lose my friends, my family is gonna, disavow me. I don't know, like you make up stories about that. And taking that leap was really hard. And I also remember the fear, the material fear that came with it, because at that time I didn't have a job. My husband was providing for me, and I had like $1,000 in my bank account. And I felt it in my body that was the right thing to do. Like I needed to take that step, but I was so afraid. And then I took the leap and everything got into place. I found more space in my life. I started yoga, and when you've lived it, and afterwards, when I left my corporate job, same thing, I found some freelance contracts, but that moment where you have to jump is always, oh my God, what's gonna happen? And every time, because I'm sure that it's the same for you, Céline, we've lived that, at one point you need more space, so you have a leap. And then you're like, no, this is not enough. And then another leap. And every time, even though we know and we trust that something is gonna come up that's better and that's gonna be more aligned and more authentic, still I have that, oh my God, moment where I resist leaping. Yeah.
It's the resistance to die per se, because we know we have to let go some things.
Yeah.
And that's why it's challenging. Again, the payoff, is like, it's way more worth it to drop the resistance and to move forward, because we get paid by potential and by embodying purpose and by meaning and by authentic relationships and by clarity and by like inner strength and power. It comes with so many gifts to say yes to the calling. And I love that you're bringing also the divorce, and we're like bringing different aspects of changing lifestyles. And Céline, do you want to share like one of the big transitions you had, stepping into your calling in terms of tangible lifestyle changes?
I'll talk about the corporate change too. The last time I was in a big corporation, it was like I could feel it in my body every single day when I was going to work that it was wrong on so many levels. And I could feel it in my body, but also I could start seeing clearly that values are not aligned with mine, and my values started getting more clarified too. And no, I don't believe in this. I don't want to be there anymore. And so that's how I took the leap to get out of there.
And I want to weave on the corporate aspect, because I think it's super interesting on, how we have dreams and calling and visions, and how we have to really honor this intuition. I put it in the category of intuition, because look inside. I'm speaking to whoever is listening right now, like look into your heart. What is that knowing that you have? What is an intuition of lifestyle that you have always been called to live? Your answers are in there. Your answers are so much in there. I will remember my first engineering job. That was in 2003. And my first weeks, I was joking around with friends and even with family. I was like, you know what? I love engineering, but I would work 2 or 3 days per week and have a 5-day per week weekend. You know what I mean? That was my ideal. And I was joking around it. but it came from a sincerity in my heart. It was not just something that I made up. It was like, whoa, it was vibrating inside of me. And what happened is that in that transition from corporate to the life that I have, let's say right now, I stayed 3 years without corporate environment. At one point, the reality of my body asked me to go back to corporate. And this is what manifested. I was like, okay, I'm going to go back to corporate, but it's going to be more authentic. And at one point, I did encounter contracts that were accepting 2 days per week or 3 days per week. And I was just with a smile in my heart, and my being was smiling. And I was like, wow, actually what I said 10 years ago was true. This model existed. It was already in co-creation because my prayer was sincere. So even if it doesn't manifest now, it's okay. Keep that prayer vibrating in your heart, and it will manifest. If you have the inspiration, it's because it exists already. It's just in the process of being co-created, maybe in different planes, but it will become an embodiment at one point. So keep on going and start taking the steps that are leading you towards that new lifestyle that you are being called to live, authentic lifestyle that you have always been called to live. It exists, and it's meant to be lived by you, or else you would not be able to channel this answer inside your heart.
And I love what you said about that, Jennifer, because I also feel that it has to come from really a grounded inner space, because the changes you made to your lifestyle might not be the changes I want to make to my lifestyle. So sometimes also I think that we have this ideal of that sounds cool, you know, I would love to do this and this and whatever, like whatever this and this is, but then it's not heartfelt, or it's not embodied. So I think that the important thing about that is really to connect to what do you dream about. You know, I love the ocean. Maybe somebody's going to say, no, the ocean is not for me. I love skiing, and I would like to be 6 months in somewhere that I can ski. Well, good for you. You know, it's a very simple example, but you know what I mean. I think that if you want to have a lifestyle that's really close to you, also I think the challenge is not to grab onto somebody else's lifestyle. Maybe corporate is good for you because you feel that you can serve there. You know, I just don't want people to think that corporate is not good. Corporate was not good for us, but you know what I mean. So
it's so important what you're sharing, Karine, and thank you for bringing that up, because we're speaking about our each unique designs and in our each unique colors, and this is it. We are designed to live in a particular way, and authenticity is about checking in. Is this what I want, or is this not what I want? This is the is it a deep desire, or it's not a deep desire? Is this serving a higher calling or not? And this is what, when we speak about alignment, this is what we mean, right? Embodying the deep desires and also aligning with a higher calling. And this is like, always see it as a battery. It's like the battery it's tuned in, right? So thank you so much for bringing that up. And it really links also to the subject of being in our own power, you know, to not give our power to external entities or organizations. We are an organization. We are a transformation system. We are here to ignite and activate things in you for you to find what is true for you. We're not saying that all of you are going to follow through the whole transformation system, or even or want to be part of the team, or want to support, or whatever. We are a model, and it holds codes and energies that will activate you in a certain degree, and at whatever degree it is, right? And I think it's super important, because I personally was often caught in systems and structures, and my forever quest was seeking freedom, right? So life put me in many, many different structures to fight against it for many rebel years, to realize that the structure I needed to find was my own structure and my own system. What is the system in this body that is meant to create a system that will be in alignment with the highest service that can be channeled through me? And that's the same thing for Karine and for Céline, and you can speak into this, but this is such important. It's important to realize this, because we will always be in some kind of boxes. Ultimately, we are in our own unique box that we get to shed off layers and peel off those layers by layers by layers. And as we peel off those layers in our own body, in our own system, and we free ourselves and unleash ourselves from the limiting beliefs that have crystallized our bodies in a certain way, we find more freedom. We attract systems that are freer, that are connected to, like, let's say, more expensive frequencies. Okay, and maybe this language doesn't reach for now, but it does, but it's more like more space, to go back to the language that we were using at the beginning, more spacious. And you will feel it, because when you will receive this in your body, whether it's behind what we're speaking about or in any type of organization or any type of movement, when you feel that it creates spaciousness in your body, trust that there's something for you. There's medicine for you in that. It's calling you. It wants to activate a part that is more spacious inside of you. So follow through. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. The jewels that you find by changing lifestyle and following that calling are priceless. They are. And they are. And I'm going to give you the mic, both of you girls, now to share on this.
Because we could go on for hours.
I get carried.
I was just going to add, it just brings me back to how important it is then to be connected to yourself, and to be to have a practice where you can get used to being with yourself and being with the silence, so you can hear the inside, not the outside voices, and then it's easier to make these choices from what inside, from what's good for you, what you're being called to do. That's all I wanted to add.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that the first step is really creating space within, that if you don't have that intimacy with yourself, we've spoken about that also many times, but that first of all, you have to connect within yourself, get intimate with yourself, because if you don't do that, you'll never know what's your heart calling you to do, what's your womb calling you to do. And it's just gonna like stay here, spin, and I could do this and this and this and this, but then you don't know yourself. So it just stays there, and then you're unsatisfied because nothing happened.
Coming with those energy leaks, and that's another subject. But it's empowering yourself is about reclaiming all those leaks and owning up to the truth that's inside of you, and embodying those deep desires, and really following through to the higher calling. And the first step is creating space in your body, and it's owning up to the reality of your body, of your lifestyle as it is now, and shifting from reality, right? So thank you so much, girls, from showing up once again. I hope you have enjoyed the conversation. Whoever's watching, I hope it's serving you. I hope it inspires you to take those next steps in your lives. If you need support, we are here. The transformation system is here. We have an embodiment practice coming soon through the incubator. Then there's going to be a different layer of discovering home within, which is going to be another layer of embodiment practice. And all of this is in creation, co-creation. And we're having a lot of pleasure and enthusiasm in following through this vision. Very unknown, but very motivating too. So, so thank you. If you want to reach out to us, you can leave a message in the comment box underneath the video, or send us an email, and keep on following us on the Facebook group where you're seeing this video right now, or the Facebook group link is also underneath the YouTube post if you're watching on YouTube. All right, so Many blessings. Thank you again, and enjoy your paths.